Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In tonight's episode, I am joined by my very good friend, Mr. Phil Keogh. You've been on a few times before, Phil. We had a chat about gigs. Are you looking forward to talking some Ruben Amorim 3-4-3?
I mean, I'm not exactly ecstatic about talking about. Yeah, can't wait, mate. Can't wait. Good to see you. We don't speak that often anymore. Now we don't live too close by, but
No, that's it. Yeah.
just the WhatsApp group.
We talk. Yeah. And to be fair, you're a very avid listener in the comments, especially when it's a little Ruben Amorim out episode. But I don't want to spoil it for any viewers. So let's get straight into it, mate.
Right.
Nearly a year ago to the day, United announced the appointment of Ruben Amorim, who was, I'm not going to say conquering Portugal. I think people would be little bit shocked if they have actually looked at his record, because he wasn't ripping off league after league. I think he won 2 out of 4 years, maybe. So Anyway, up and coming coach. We had this with Ten Hag with Ajax. However, something you had a problem with from day one was the philosophy, the system. We're Manchester United. We play with wingers. We play with Giggs, Kanchelskis, Cristiano, Nani, even in the so-called worst years, Rashford, Martial. Talk to me about your initial feeling when this got announced. Obviously, I sort of can remember, but refresh my memory for our viewers. What was it? A 3-4-3 coach with wingbacks. What was your first thoughts about a year ago?
Well, my first thoughts is this is not going to work. I want it to work. I like the guy. I like, listening to him on an interview and stuff like that. He seems like he's going to be personable, which is far better than Ten Hag, who's just, he was just very. There was no personality to him at all. He was quite hard to feel any warmth towards, and he wouldn't give you an explanation at all as to how he was doing, why he was doing something. He was just, I'm doing it, and I felt like this guy could be the right guy, but I just felt like the system he feels is the only thing he can do, the only idea, is not suited to us as a club. Because obviously, just stay there. We have wingers, traditional wingers. Like, even when you mentioned those wingers, then like George Best further back, Koppel, Gordon Hill from the 70s before my time. But you hear about these players who were taking people on, getting the ball, entertaining, going on a good dribble or doing something, and like long shots from outside the box, causing, damage to other opposition. That's kind of what we're built from. And I was like, and the other thing is, like, remember Louis came in and tried playing 3 at the back. I was against it then. We had that summer pre-season where we were beating Real Madrid and stuff, and I was like, yeah, let's just see what happens when we against Swansea, first game of the season at home. Yeah. And it's like, at least he soon realised and moved away from it. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I just don't like 3 at the back. It's not my thing.
And to your point as well, like Van Gaal, he did change the system, and we had quite a successful season. That one, I know it was the Galactico team and the squad, but it turned out we got 4th. We scored 60 odd goals, which recent years have been a massive issue. And then obviously the next year we sold everyone and somehow ended up 5th with a really boring approach and season and a cup. But yeah, just going back to Amorim, okay, I know your feelings, and I think it's good to get it across. You have your favourite players' Giggs. People who watch the Giggs episode will remember that. But I also think that, is it fair to say that in the year we've had of Amorim, and we'll get into this season in a minute as a whole, and sort of, has it been as great as people think and this massive improvement? But just talking about, is it fair to say that with the 3-4-3 and your concerns, the 12 months of Amorim, they've all been apparent? And you're talking about the wingers, or lack of. It's been Patrick Dorgu in the final third. Dalot, It's still Dalot. It was Mazraoui for a bit. And it's 2 midfielders who aren't really suited to being a 2. We probably need a 3. Is it fair to say the year of Amorim has highlighted all of your concerns and some?
Yeah, I fully believe that. I mean, I'm not going to say that we haven't improved a bit, and I'm sure you're going to touch on it yourself. We've got better forwards. So, yeah, we do look better when we get into that final third. And with Ahmad at wing back, there are opportunities where we can get that the 2-against-1. But Forest just knew what we were going to do last game, completely stopped it, and Dorgu and Dalot were doing nothing down the left-hand side. Carragher pointed out perfectly, like, you used to have George Best, Ryan Giggs, or whoever it was that on the left-hand side, Ronaldo, and then on the left-hand side delivering at the final point, and now we've got Dorgu. And if Ahmad's not on the right, you've got Dalot or Mazraoui. It's not working. They're not wing backs for me are failed fullbacks, failed wingers. They're not one or the other. They're not great at either end. I'm yet to see a really world class. I can't think of one.
Yeah.
Can you think of one that's really
No. I think it's a really good question, isn't it? Because I think to your point, if you think back of like yesteryears of fullbacks that could do both, you might as well just play him in a 4 because they're good defensively. I don't.
Yeah.
So let's think of a Zanetti. Let's think of a Cafu, a Roberto Carlos, early days Carlos. Those sort of Gary Neville. I know he likes to put himself down. Patrice Evra could do a bit of both. These players. They're fine defensively. We don't need to worry about him and play him in a back 5 because Cafu can hold his own and he gives us so much offensively. So ultimately, Paul Merson pointed this out when we signed Maguire. The reason you're playing in a back 3 if you're a centre-back or if you're a wing-back is because you're not good enough to play in a 4. Now, we'll come to the defence separately, Phil, but just sticking with the wing-backs, you're right. It's like wing-backs at Man United is exposing how bad offensively they are. We haven't got one that's good offensively. Mazraoui, Dalot and Dorgu are shit offensively. Let's just call a spade. Ahmad has to play there because if Ahmad doesn't play there, you're back to last season's back 5. But you're so right. This system of Amorim, like you said it, 3-4-3s, they're a moment in time team. They're a Victor Moses and a Marcus Alonso at wing back, and we fell on something. It's never you don't typically plan for this because 4 at the back is the system, and it is for every amazing coach. And I agree with you. But just talking about the wing backs particularly, if he doesn't change this, what's the ceiling for Amorim with this team with the wing backs? Even if Ahmad does stick there and you go and get another left wing back, like there's still issues all around the pitch, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that's a really good point. I kind of said this as well. I think even if he gets it good, let's say we get good, and I want United to do well. I really do. And I really love the fact that we just won. Is it 3 in a row? And won a few games, in between a couple of losses and a few draws. I was like, I'm actually enjoying watching certain parts of it. But even if we get really good, is our ceiling going to be winning the league? I don't think it is. I really don't. Not consistently either. So might fluke it. And I've heard a few times, obviously, watch the channel. It's a good tournament system. It's not a good over. It doesn't dominate this possession. We are constantly being dictated to by our positions most of the time. There's the occasional game where, a couple of passes will suddenly all link up in the chain and we score a great goal and it's like, oh, that really works. But it doesn't continually build pressure. I've not seen that at all. I've seen us a couple of good touches from Cunha, a couple of good touches from Mbeumo and Ahmad's on the overlap and it works. But we're not really playing in midfield. We're going very direct, very vertical all the time. And I don't see how you do that for 90 minutes. Brighton's a really good one where we started amazingly and tired. And then towards the end, it could have gone either way. Really could have gone. And then we scored a few.
It's a good point, isn't it? I think you touched on the directness there. And that's the thing with 3-4-3. It's counterintuitive to play directly because you look at a 3-4-3 team or say a Guardiola, Busquets dropping in, sort of, you could say 3. Whenever that happened, so Guardiola, for example, he never played 3 at the back, but if he asked Busquets or Rodri to drop, it's because he wants to build out from the back. I ain't going long. I'm playing 3 at the back and 2 wing-backs to make a 5 to beat a press. We just get Le Mans to toss it long because the midfield can't take it on the half turn. They're not really great on the ball. Even Bruno really isn't a centre mid. Casemiro definitely can't play through. And they're naturally outnumbered in there anyway. So it's counterintuitive to go so direct. And I know people might go, well, look at the Liverpool result. We'll come to some of the games individually in a minute. But just talking about the directness, is this it? Is this what we've got for the rest of the season? Hoofball over
Yeah,
a back five?
looks that way, doesn't it? I mean, I just don't see. Yeah, we're not playing from the back. I think I watched the Evans piece, with Carragher, because you pointed out to me, and he
Yeah.
was basically trying to tell us as to why Dalot was dropping into this in the first game against Cardiff. Was it? Or is it Cardiff or
It was
Ipswich? Sorry.
Ipswich away, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, that used to happen anyway when Scholes or Carrick dropped into that position. The two centre backs split, and your defensive midfield player who's a ball player would drop into there, and then you play from that point. He's just basically going, right, one of the centre backs moves forward and we play from that. You cause triangles and angles and stuff. And a lot of people who will fight back at what I'm saying or you're saying currently about the formation, the system. Systems are fluid, people are in different positions. Yeah, but when we used to have like Scholes doing the ball play, we now got Dalot, who isn't as good as Scholes, obviously, at doing that. And or Maguire, who's not as good as doing that. Like you're basically removing more talented players to put back three players back three in,
Yeah.
and again offensively, instead of having an overlap from Evra with like Giggs or Nani in the inside channel, you've got Dorgu with Cunha in the inside channel. It's nowhere near as good. No, like all systems are fluid, but you've got better players in a formation laid out in a flat back four, I think, and the defenders understand it better. Like in terms of
Yeah.
defensive positioning, you got to cover your wing. If you're a winger, you're covering your fullback. Fullback's covering centre back. Just moves like that. And I'm sure you'll point out in a bit, but currently everyone's running everywhere and don't know what they're doing.
Probably a really good segue into the defence, really, and something I sort of hit on Saturday post game. Obviously, we shipped another 2 goals, this time to a relegation candidate, in my opinion. Well, not in my opinion, they are in the bottom 3, and they won their 3rd manager this season. Apparently, this 2-2 is a massive turning point again. Apparently, we'd have lost that 4-1 last year. Again, great players like Rio Ferdinand going, we'd have lost 4-1 to a relegation candidate last year. So 2-2 is an improvement. Please, man. How were our ex-players this clouded? But anyway, let's not get into Rio. Let's talk about the defence, Phil. Look, let's look at the goals against this season. We played 10 games, we conceded 16 goals. And I did a short on it, and I had a few comments in there from some people online saying, oh, we've had a tough start fixture-wise. Now, what's really interesting is Forest 2, Brighton 2, Brentford 3, Burnley 2. It's only City that pumped us, and we were just particularly awful in that game. Yeah. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 1, Chelsea got 1. So really, the tough start has nothing to do with the goals against column, right? It's a fucking mess at the back. You sort of touched on it, and I know you're going to go into a bit more detail here. We're a year in now, and I'm still seeing Yoro Dalot going for the same man, Shaw and Dalot swapping, Dalot and Dalot swapping at Brentford. I'm at 2 guys at the back post. Nobody knows what they're doing in this system, in this back 3 defending, and the goals against are stacking up. Phil, we've got a worse defensive record this season than last.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things in that, isn't there? Like, the 3 centre-backs we've got don't suit being 3. Like, Dalot has been one of the best of the centre-backs. I think, obviously, Maguire's got goals and stood out in moments, but I think he's been the better centre-back. Yoro, I know you're not that keen, but I think, he's going to be one of those players who has good 3 games, bad 1. He's a young player who eventually, I'm hoping, will come to promise. And Shaw doesn't suit really that position. Martinez might improve it, but all of them are better in a back 4. They just don't look really settled there, and they're constantly looking around like what they're supposed to be doing or who they're supposed to be marking. If they're supposed to be stepping into midfield, like it showed a really good. What game was it before the Forest game? Was it Liverpool? where Shaw
no,
was.
it was the Brighton game, but we had Liverpool Brighton back to back where Shaw was doing a lot more. Sorry, Brighton at home, wasn't it? Shaw was almost coming in to make a 3, wasn't he?
Yeah. So he was doing that really well, but he doesn't. It's not going to take him long to other teams to see that and decide what they're going to do about changing it. And basically, if you take Shaw out, I know you pointed this out before, and put in a midfielder, they would be doing that anyway. And it's I don't know. I just
Yes.
feel like it's overcomplicating something that's not that complicated. Just
Brilliant.
to put 3 at the back on a team sheet. Like
You're so right.
I don't get it.
Obviously, you're 6 years older than me. I was born in 1990. You had a little bit more of the 90s, obviously growing up as a kid, and you had the Fergie 4-4-2. We attack with pace, we counter-attack when we want to, we sit in when we have to. And it's football so simple, right? And now you're right. People are going online. I text you after the Brighton game. At least he's saying to Shaw to step in and make a numerical equal in there against Brighton. But you're right. Can I just have Mainoo doing that instead then? Like, it's a fucking shambles.
I feel like Mainoo is a massive black mark at the moment on what we're doing. And I've seen online at the moment people going, "Oh, if he's good enough, he'd be playing." Like last season and the year before, everyone was raving about him, and now it's like, "Oh, we're not. Is he good enough?" It's like, "Oh, he doesn't cover the ground." Well, he covers more ground than Casemiro. He'll probably stay in the right position more than Bruno will, and it's like he'll do a better job than Shaw will be doing in that midfield position. Like, what are they on about? Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Amazing.
you're right. I mean, we'll come to Mainoo because I want to talk about Mainoo, but just sticking with the defence. I mean, people talk about the improvements, and just as a general question for you, and we've got ex pundits and obviously people online waxing lyrical. I mean, the 1-0 loss against Arsenal was apparently an amazing performance.
Yeah.
Okay, Brighton, I enjoyed it. It had a bit of the swashbuckling feel to it. It felt like we had goals in us. We did score 4. Also, to your point, nearly tossed it away from a great position because guess what? Patrick Dorgu lost the ball under no pressure whatsoever, gives away a free kick. And the shit organisation and marking off a corner from James Milner is 3-2. But generally speaking, over these 10 games, where are you at with Amorim? No midweek games. He's improved United. Where are you at with it? We've won. I'm just looking here. We've won 5 out of 10. We've drawn 2, lost 3. We're 8th in the league with a +1 goal difference. Where are you on the scale of it with the improvement under Ruben Amorim this season?
It's an improvement on last season, but that's not very difficult to do. He picked us up. I don't know where we were in the league, but we weren't. I know Ten Hag wasn't doing well and we had to get rid of him, but we weren't doing as bad as where we finished at the end of it, which was 15th, 14th. I don't think we would have finished there.
I mean, just to your point. Sorry to jump in, but just to your point, I had a look at when Ten Hag got sacked, and the defense. The issue was the goals. We couldn't score under Ten Hag. If you remember, we had I feel like we had 8 goals in 9 games of Ten Hag or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But the defensive record was we'd only conceded 8. You know what I mean? It was pretty terrible, really. But we weren't shipping goals, is what I'm saying. He comes in, and we've had a year of shipping goals. Last year we conceded 54. This year, Phil, we're on pace to concede 60. I know
that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Small sample size. 16 in 10 is pretty much 60 in 38.
That's ridiculous, isn't it? I just think it does come down to confusion. Obviously, you'd hope the keeper, he looks okay, like decent, like a goalkeeper for a change. You'd like to think something comes there, but it does come down to the back three are not comfortable there. The wing-backs are not defenders. Ahmad caught out back post because he's not a defender. Not his fault, really. And also the 2 midfielders, they get bypassed every single game. Like I dread to think what's going to happen if that I can't think of the guy's name who plays for Spurs, who scored that ridiculous goal against us where he just ran through against Ten Hag's team. If he has a run at that midfield, we're done. Like he's running right through that.
I mean, just on the midfield, and we'll talk about that as well because this is something that we've spoke about for ages, and we've seen he's gone with Bruno Casemiro in every game this season, quite literally, and we've had goals runners off Bruno, specifically Foden goal against City. Shaw jumps. It was, for me, the Foden goal from in the derby. It highlighted everything that we've been talking about for not just in this episode. I'm talking 6 to 8 months of these conversations we've been having. So Shaw jumps on, was it Doku? Missed the tackle because Shaw. Look, what centre back wants to charge out to tricky wingers? Nobody. Shaw gets beaten by Doku. Panic stations now. There's no insurance. Doku gets a bit lucky. Foden runs off Bruno. Bruno's not a centre mid. He doesn't track Foden because he's a number 10. Like, I ain't tracking Foden. Foden free header 1-0. Go and get twatted 3-0. Emil Smith-Rowe, Fulham, game 2, same thing. Bruno. We see it. Dalot carrying the ball out, loses it. Fulham go round the left wing. Bruno doesn't track Smith-Rowe. 1-1, get out there with a draw. What do you think of this midfield? It's Bruno and Casemiro for the season. I can't see any changes. One's the captain, and obviously he likes Casemiro with probably the experience and the old head. What are United going to look at in May, Phil, with this midfield too, of these two?
Well, I think Casemiro's playing well, but he can't cover the ground. And really, we need to replace him. So you're looking at forking out 100 million for a player. Bruno's just not a centre midfielder. He's not a centre mid. He doesn't stay in the right position. He just runs around all the time. He doesn't have the awareness needed for that role. He's a great number 10. You know, if you want somebody who makes chances constantly, that's what he does. He's honestly just picking them, both of them, just because they are very direct with the ball. Casemiro's hitting it along, Bruno's hitting it along. They're not fussed about keeping possession for any amount of time. All they're going to do is, as soon as the runner is, we're in transition, we're going for it right now. And that's, I think, that, and he's kind of accepting the fact if there's 3 in there that are going to dominate, they're going to dominate. And I know he's done certain tweaks, like I think he's trying to have asked Cunha to come in a bit, Mount when he's played a bit, and Ahmad maybe from the wing back trying to tuck in a bit more, trying to, try and cause a 4 maybe to try and bulk up the midfield. And sure, obviously dropping in a bit, but it's all it is doing is hiding the fact that really we would be better off from the fact that we had 3 to begin with. You could put a 3 in there. We complained. You've said it before. We complained about Mount, Bruno, and Casemiro, and now we've got 1 less player in there, and it's what, so we can play Dorgu, or I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's so true, isn't it? I mean, we going into the first game of the Ten Hag second season, Mason Mount was chased and signed for 1 role to go with your 2 10s that only really Pep has ever had success with Silva and De Bruyne in 2017-ish. And we tried it with Mount and Bruno, like you said. We've now gone, you know what, that was pretty terrible, and Ten Hag binned it after 4 games. Let's just go with Bruno and Casemiro and no Mount. I get there's ways you can play it, but I completely echo your thoughts there. And I just think that we're 8th right now. I know we've had this 3-game win streak, but let's look at the games that we've won and go through them. Burnley, last minute penalty away from a 2-2, and at 2-2 it was dicey. You've got the 3-game win streak. Sunderland, an okay 2-0 win. They were awful. It was a reasonable Old Trafford performance. Liverpool away, we win 2-1. If you separate yourself from the emotion of beating Liverpool at Anfield for a second, which is something we as fans loved every second, you look at that game and you're like, if you play that game 10 times, you don't win it 9 out of 10. I'm not saying we lose, I'm just saying you get out of there probably with a draw, probably sometimes they might have beat you. All of a sudden the season flips completely because you get a reasonably lucky win at Liverpool. Overall, from the 10 games, do you think it's been over-egged how much better it's been for Manchester United this season under Amorim?
Yeah, I think so. The Liverpool game, good time to play Liverpool. Let's be honest, they were in a bit of a rough patch. They just beat Madrid, so maybe they're out of it. Who knows? Let's see what the Premier League form's like. I think that we did well. I obviously enjoyed the game. It was a great result. But yeah, you're right. They had the chances to win the game. They could have, if they took the chances, we're getting beaten more times than we are. They have to take the chances. So, and we did start really well. It's one of those, isn't it? I think like the Arsenal game to me wasn't that impressive. I thought the players put the effort in. We looked like we're trying to do exactly what we need to do, but Arsenal weren't good, and Arsenal have kicked on since then. We were that's probably like we were just at a better level. You know, pre-season we were probably just a little bit better on the day. We still lost 1-0, and then just the Brentford game. I just felt that was pretty horrific, and I feel like it was last season. And the Forest game as well. Forest, yeah, they did well last season, but Alanga's gone, the manager's gone. They're not the same side anymore. That apart from Gibbs White, they are struggling for any real quality. And Elliot Anderson, obviously, he's doing really well, but they're struggling around what they're doing because they've gone from playing a very counter-attacking team to a possession team, and now we're going to dice ball, and they're in a bit of a moment. Yeah, Burnley was a very weird. Burnley was awful. I really thought Burnley was awful. Relying on.
I did. No, I totally agree. I know early on in the season, but certainly as a United fan under Amorim, we always feel one game away from a crisis because you lose tomorrow on the early at Tottenham, and let's face it, you touched on Van der Ven. They're a good outfit. Thomas Frank has got them well drilled. I'm not sure all their negativity around Frank. I mean, they're sitting sixth in the league and they're winning Champions League games. So I don't know what their problem is. But you lose tomorrow, we're probably going to be bottom half. I'm just doing the math here. Brentford, Villa, Brighton and Palace are all within a few points of us. So if we lose tomorrow, there's probably a good chance we'll be in the bottom half, back where we were at the end of last season. And you've won 5 out of 11 games. Okay, you win, the narrative flips again. I just don't see the consistency. And it's like, the reason the consistency is not there is because they're not comfortable in a system that they've been playing for a year now. You've raised the bar attacking. I'm not being funny. I'm not accepting this, that signing Cunha and Mbeumo over Garnacho and Højlund from last season is like, I'm meant to be in awe of this coach. I'm not having it. I'm not having that as like, I'm not having that you go and get Cunha and you replace Garnacho with him. I know how shit Garnacho is, and I know you agree with me. And I'm meant to sit here and praise Ruben Amorim for coming into this season and us looking amazing because you went from Garnacho to Cunha. What are we doing here? I want to see consistency. I want to see goals stop going in.
It's true, isn't it? I mean, we are doing better because those guys are better players. So the debate is going to be out on Sesko for a bit. I do think I've seen bits of his play, which is far better than Højlund's in terms of holding the ball up and stuff, in linking the play up, although he had a terrible game last game. But you got Cunha. Watch what Garnacho's doing now. He's still doing the same stuff. Can't dribble, can't shoot, he's not a good winger, and you were very right. We should have got rid of him. At least we got a decent price for him. And what did we have down the right last season? All right, Ahmad's gone to wing back. I feel a bit sorry for Ahmad a bit, but
so just on that as well, and on the balance of the team, we went last year. At times, we played 3 attackers. Seriously, and I know that might sound haunting, but it's true. Casemiro, Ugarte were in midfield, and we had defenders at wing back. Okay, Diallo was injured since Feb for 3 months, wasn't he? Now, let's just count them up. You've got the front 3, whoever the 3 are, Cunha and Mbeumo Sesko. You've got Bruno as a centre mid, and you've got Ahmad at wing back. We've now got 5. Are we now too unbalanced the other way? And let's face it, are we really getting the major benefits attacking? Because to score enough goals, we've got to be getting 3 a game, really. Just doing the math, haven't we, to win games like the Brighton game? We conceded 2. Yeah. So good job we scored 4.
You're right. We've got basically 5 attackers and 5 defenders. And there's no one in the middle. Like, it's just, they're all a bit disjointed, aren't they? So
it's school, it's kiddie stuff, isn't it? It's kids.
It is.
Kids,
we are just that way, isn't it? Like they have to make something happen every single time, otherwise we're going to go up the other end. And you again, like Ahmad's not really comfortable. Bruno's not really comfortable. I don't know, Casemiro. These Shaw's not doing what he really wants to do. The whole back line really is not comfortable, and we're not getting anything down the left hand side. There's nobody we've got on the left hand side. Like nobody's been that productive. Could also say Cunha's been affected a little bit by that because who's he working with? Dalot or is it Dorgu? And like it's not really working, is it? There's no overlap, consistent final ball coming there. You know, I just feel like it's real. We are lopsided a lot. Lopsided.
Yeah, you can't build relationships with shit players. So I don't expect you to get anything really. You're right. And Buemo's had decent joy. And I said to you in the summer, I was like, if he's going to have any success as a manager for Manchester United in this system, Ahmad and Buemo better be unbelievable. I'll give it some. It's been better. There's been moments stepping on each other's toes, but it is an overload. You're right, though. How long before teams go, let's just leave that side of the pitch because I don't give a shit about Dorgu and Dalot. Cunha's okay, but we can have a midfielder on him. And then Ahmad and Buemo, we just shuffle over and we just stop the overload. Obviously, Brighton didn't. Liverpool were absolutely all over the place, just allowing Kirkes on an island with Ahmad and Buemo in the pocket round Van Dijk. That's the dream scenario. But like you said, Liverpool were in a bad place. They're naive. They were at home. I think they wanted to score 4 past us. Teams aren't going to just do that. They're not going to go, oh, your left back, pick up Ahmad and leave Buemo open. It's just
it's always evolving. When people obviously they're doing scouting and stuff like that. So when problems arise or someone will come up with a solution for something, won't they? And we had some joy with that overload. But Forest, who have not been good this season, suddenly decided they're going to defend that side of the pitch more, and we were struggling. We were. Then you've got Bruno, Cunha, and Buemo tripping over each other's foot on the D of the outside the box. Like there's no width coming down the left hand side. You're like, we're struggling here to create chances. It took a really good goal from Ahmad to get us a point,
it
and
did. No, it did.
I do worry about it in terms
I
of
think that's the thing as well. Like just last thing on the defense and the balance of the team. And I'm thinking about this. 16 goals conceded so far. There's just no clean sheets in sight, so that's going to be 17 or 18 tomorrow. There's no way we're keeping a clean sheet at Tottenham. No way.
I can't see it.
I reckon we'll struggle to keep 6 or 7 clean sheets this season out of 38 games. I think you mentioned De Ligt. I think De Ligt's been good this season.
Yeah.
I think Le Mans has been very solid, verging on good, I would say. I think that's fair. I don't think the 2 centre-backs either side, barring the odd gaff, like Yoro at the weekend going up soft or Shaw losing his duels, I don't think they've been that bad. But the defence as a whole is shipping. And that's the thing for me where if you said to me, we're playing 4-3-3 and De Ligt is monstrous and Le Mans is good, I think we're keeping clean sheets.
Yeah, you'd expect more defenders to be more secure, but it's not the way it's working, is it?
That's the worry for me. If De Ligt's been dross and Le Mans has been as bad as Bayern, and you go, well, you can point the finger. I'm not pointing the finger at Dalot for 16, as tempting as it is, and I know he's shite. It's not Dallot's fault we've got one of the worst defences in the Prem. It's not. Is he a problem? Yeah. Of course he is. But we've also got Yoro, Shaw, De Ligt, Le Mans, Maguire. We've got good players in there. You can win league titles with iffy fullbacks. So I'm not having that. People are going to go, well, he's upgraded the attack, now he's got to upgrade the defence. Does he have to upgrade the defence? Like, can he not improve? Is Amorim going to improve anyone or not?
Yeah, who's actually improved? I think we gave him Ahmad last season, but then really has he improved him, or is it more the fact that Ten Hag wasn't playing him and he was ready to play?
Because Ten Hag,
I don't really know.
He did play. He did. I mean, he got the goal at Brighton, didn't he? Before Ten Hag got sacked, and then
Liverpool goal.
Ten Hag was lost, wasn't he? And I don't think he was ever. I think Ten Hag always was fixated on Garnacho Rashford, wasn't he? So Ahmad had to miss out. Look, I mean, Last thing on the team and Amorim, and then we'll talk about a couple of other things. I want to get your thoughts on who's going to win the league and stuff like that, and maybe touch on an ex-player's little interview as well before we finish. That's come out this week. Ruben Amorim in the job after the last game of the season, yes or no?
I really feel like they're going to try and stick with him, and it's hard to say. I don't want us to go really bad. I don't want it to go wrong, but I think tomorrow could be telling. I really do. I feel like every single game is the same. It could be telling what's going to happen. After the Grimsby game, I was pretty much done with it. I feel like he's done well to come back, but I don't think he's. I don't think he's in charge next season. I really don't.
Okay. Yeah,
I hope so. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we do really well. But
no, I'm the same. This isn't me being right, you being right. I'm not like that. Because I think there's likable things, like you said, his personality. I'd love to see Amorim sitting there in press conferences. I think he's got the charisma. You know, we're in a title race. I'd like to see Amorim in a title race as Manchester United manager. Do I see it? No, I don't. I just do not see it. And like you said, tomorrow, another make or break. It is, though, every week, isn't it? Because you lose tomorrow and you're back to square one. You're going to be in the bottom half. Yeah. You will have won 5 out of 11. You've probably got a negative goal difference. And it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. One of the worst defences in the league. Okay, what's your minimum league position? And I appreciate there's more to it because Van Gaal came 5th, but his football was shocking. Where's Amorim got to finish for you to go, you know what? He's done well this season. You know, assuming there's no anomalies, injuries and stuff like that. Generally speaking, where's Amorim got a place for you in May time?
I honestly think, so we're not playing Champions League football. We're not playing League Cup football. I think top 5 or 6. I really do.
Yeah.
I feel like you're thinking that's a little bit too of a stretch from 15th. But we're talking Ten Hag was sacked in 8th, wasn't he? Just a couple of seasons ago. I think for me to be put, especially my prejudice against the three at the back, for me to be like, oh yeah, I'm buying into this, he has to be like 5 or 6. If he gets to 8th, let's say, I'll be like, he's done about what I expect, really, with the squad as well. To really impress me, he'd have to be 5 or 6.
So here's where I'm at with this, and I was very, very frustrated listening to, I touched on the Rio podcast, lots of other people talking about the 2-2 being good. I'm not allowing Manchester United's standards to drop because of last season's dross.
We shouldn't. We should not. Right.
Was not acceptable. You cannot finish 15th as a Manchester United manager. He's the luckiest guy on planet Earth, right?
Ridiculous.
You can't then go, we'd have lost 4-1 last year to Forest when that second goal went in. So here's your improvement, a 2-2 goal, a 2-2 result and an Ahmad wonder goal at the end. No, you're not having that. Now, Manchester United has standards. You're spending 250 mil every year. We're churning 250 mil, another 250 mil. No, you need to finish top 6, mate. This is United. You've got City fans. My brother's not happy. He's not happy. the recruitment slipped. No, I tell you what, people might watch Christian and we get a few comments from City fans and they go, oh, you know, I tell you what, you start letting it slip. Do you remember with Moyes? Oh, it's a team in transition. 6th, and then then Van Gaal needs excuses, and then Mourinho wins 2 trophies, so 6th is acceptable. We've got to get it back. Ollie got sacked when we dropped to about 8th, and that's because we had aspirations to win the Premiership. Now I know what you're saying. I agree with you. 5th, 6th, mate. You got to come top 6 with this squad. Don't be saying, oh, 8th is 7 places high. No. You're not having that. Nobody's having that from my perspective.
I think it's got to be higher. I really do. Like I was saying, if he gets top 8, that's par for me. I think it's a bit low. If he wants to impress me, he has to be top 5. I really think that. And then I'll be like, all right, maybe I'm a bit wrong about the system. I still don't think we'll win the league with it, but maybe we should give him a bit more time. But that's where I'm at with it. I really do think. And I don't know if we have touched on Mainoo, but I think that's an absolute waste of an absolute ball of a football player. Like,
it's
it really upsets me. When we're looking at Elliot Anderson, say for instance, he's in the team now for England, 100 million, 120 million. If Mainoo was at Forest, we'd be looking at him going, we want to buy that player, but we've got him sat on the bench. At Brighton, he'd be one of their best players. We look at these other teams going, oh, should we go and get Believer? No, Mainoo's probably a better player. I actually fully believe that.
Oh,
and nothing against Elliot Anderson.
No doubt
I think we should actually look at buying him. But I just think it's a joke what we're doing with Mainoo at the moment.
Yeah. No, I completely hear you. And I think, I know that, just going back, obviously we started the episode on United's principles and stuff like that. And Manchester United have this love affair with the academy, and I have frustrations with average players getting too many appearances for this club. And I had to sit through 200 plus games of Lingard, 200 plus games of McTominay, 50 games of Brandon Williams, 150 games of Garnacho, and now you're saying I can't watch Kobbie Mainoo. This is where we're drawing the line now. We're giving the keys to this random Portuguese coach. I'm put through they're from the academy, they get 150 games by default. But the one that's good is we might have to loan him out. What are we doing? Of all the times to put your foot down and go, no, we want senior players in that position. Where was this attitude with Lingard? Where was this attitude with McTominay? With Garnacho? Okay, I guess you can say we sold him. But how many games do you think Garnacho... He played 50 games a season for 3 years, Phil. And now we're calling the shots and going, oh, no, you're too young, mate.
I don't understand what's going on. I really don't understand what's going on because I see it all the time on Twitter. Oh, he doesn't cover the ground. I'll tell you what, you put him and Casemiro on a field and see who runs around the longest. I'm going to guess it's not going to be Casemiro. Like, nothing against the guy. He is not as fitter than 20-year-old Kobbie Mainoo. I just don't get where we're... Do you know what it's about? It's vertical balls. That's what it's about. He doesn't play those passes. He tries to dribble. He tries to play short link-up balls. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of like an Iniesta-type player who wants to dribble, link the ball up, that kind of play. And as far as Ruben Amorim's concerned, he wants that ball right out the field straight away. He doesn't want to do anything like that. And I don't think that's to our benefit. Yeah.
I think you banged on with that. And I did a little bit of a deep dive on the long balls played, and I posted a little video on it a while ago. And them two, Bruno and Casemiro, are launching 3-4 times the amount of long balls other comparable duos in the league are. I think I compared to Wharton and Will Hughes at Palace, who play 3-4-3. Mate, Bruno and Casemiro's long balls attempted, the figure is sky high. It's shocking, to be honest, and you're absolutely bang on with that. And I think it's such a shame, and he's not going to play this. I know he's not going to play this season because Bruno Fernandes doesn't get injured. Not that I'd wish injury on the guy, and I think I've got massive respect for him as a professional. I wouldn't play him in the role he's in right now. It's not his fault. He's being asked to play there, and the club rejected 100 million. So if you're Bruno, you're sat there going, You don't want me. Well, you got 100 million for me, and I'm 30 years old, so I get it from his perspective. But if Casemiro gets suspended, Ugate's coming in, and it's such a shame. And I tell you what, you touched on the coverage. I think it's been completely over-egged, this Kobbie Mainoo ground coverage shit. Because I tell you what, he wasn't struggling next to Declan Rice in the Euros.
No, it wasn't. At all. In the same formation.
I'd like to speak to Gareth Southgate and see, did he have any concerns about Kobbie Mainoo in the semis or the final or the quarters? Because he looked absolutely fine to me.
You're right. They were playing 3-4-3, weren't they? So what's going on?
Southgate flipped to it in the knockouts, didn't he? Which is what I'm not going to praise. I'm not going to go over the top with Southgate, but to your point, tournament system utilised very well by a fairly average coach. We're putting all our eggs in this basket of 3-4-3 forever, every game for eternity. It's insane. Look, before we wrap up, Phil, we've got a game tomorrow, and I want to just very quickly get your thoughts, get a little prediction from you, mate. Spurs away. Are we away? Should know this. We are, aren't we? It just threw me because we were away against Forest.
I think we are away. I'm not.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to load my phone up here. Manchester United. I'm sure we are. It's just because we had a home game. But let me just have a look. Spurs. Yes, we're away. Okay.
We haven't got many home games this month.
In fairness, the defensive record has been we've been shipping them against. We just did the list before: Burnley, Brentford, Brighton, Forest. Now Spurs are a better side. They're 6th in the league. They've had a solid start. Thomas Frank's a very experienced coach. Is this a game that suits us? Do you think we can get a result tomorrow? Or are you a little bit like me where, honestly, every game for me at the minute is just, if the attack massively turns up, we could beat anybody, but it's going to come at a 3-2. Where do you land on the game tomorrow? What's your prediction? How do you see it going?
I don't think we're going to win, and I really hope we do. And I know it sounds terrible, but I really don't think it's going to suit us. They just had a shocker against Chelsea, didn't they? And I feel like they'll be up for it. Early kick-off. I really hope we turn up. But you are right. You never know what's going to happen with us at the moment. We're very Jekyll and Hyde in terms of not even like one game to next game. We're talking 145 minutes. Next 45 minutes, we're not very much like up and down. I feel like they could get some joy against us, definitely. And I feel like, especially at the early kickoff, this could be a bit of a tough one for us. I hope we do win. I really do.
I agree. No.
I feel we score first. We have to score first. That's the main thing that we have to do.
I totally hear you. Carragher, I mean, there's been a little bit too much glazing on this episode for our liking, but he does. Obviously, it's easier for him to have takes on United. But he made a point about Liverpool. Actually, it wasn't a United take, and he said, "I don't want Liverpool to be the most entertaining watch in the league. I want a little bit of robotic, like they were last season, and I will watch them win the league at the end of the season. I know United is going to be a good watch. It's going to be a fun watch right now, unless anything changes overnight. Obviously, if he went and parked it. But I know Spurs are going to turn up tomorrow with Palhinha, Sarr and Bentancur in a midfield 3. Straight away, I'm doing the math. They've got 3 players in there. We've got 2. And again, I'm on edge already where it's like, am I relying on Luke Shaw jumping into centre mid to make the ground up with a 3v2 again away from home? It's the midfield for me that worries me because I know we're going to create. I know we're going to struggle defensively. It's the midfield. Are we going to get overwhelmed to the point where we get twatted? That's like against City.
Yeah. The good thing is, I do think Spurs are a bit blunt up front. Like, they don't have a really good striker, do they? So you're looking at them and thinking, there's no consistent threat there. They have got some good wide players and stuff like that, but I'm just thinking, we do concede against everybody, so they possibly will score out of nothing. You know, Johnson in the UEFA Cup final, he turned up for it, and Europa Cup. I'm talking about something for the 90s.
Yeah, UEFA, yeah. Cup Winners' Cup. No, you mentioned Van der Ven before, and
he might as well play up front.
I like to put him in centre mid. I like to think that we're not going to concede a 90-yard dribble from Van der Ven. However, Van der Ven, I watched him against Everton. Did they score off 2 corners, Tottenham?
Yeah.
Well, we don't mark people off crosses, set pieces, anything. We don't pick people up. That's United's defending. There's man marking, there's zonal, and there's whatever we are trying to do. That's our attitude is, look, we'll stand there, we'll edit if it comes, but we're not picking him up, we're not picking him up, we're not picking him up. That's our approach. I'm not going to back this, but I'm saying a Romero or a Van der Ven goal off a corner tomorrow is not out of the question by any means. I'd say it's odds on the way we defend set pieces, Phil. And we can't afford cheap goals because we can see chances in open play. Our XG is one of the worst. XG against is one of the worst in the league.
Yeah. But you'll get told it's the opposite way around. We've got the best XG going forward,
If
apparently. So
Well, even if okay, that's true. Look, the same computer calculates it. I can't have it one way and not the other. Even
yeah,
okay, great. Best XG, worst X, or one of the worst XGs. I go back to what Carragher said. I don't want to be the most entertaining team for the neutral. I want to win games and stop watching goals go in.
it's very rarely the
So
most entertaining team wins the league. I get what you're saying. So, back in Newcastle 1996, great team to watch. There's been great Liverpool sides. I mean, United have had really entertaining sides, but they
yeah,
always had a very solid base, very solid back four, where they wouldn't ship stupid goals. Yeah, they got the odd counter attack against them, but when they were flying forward, but most of the time they were very capable of keeping a 1-0 win if they needed to.
is
I do
anybody
feel like we
queuing up?
can't do.
Yeah,
We're
is
not
anybody
able to do
queuing up
that.
to watch Duff, Robin, and Drogba in a Chelsea side that conceded 15 goals? Does anybody want to tune into them highlights from that season?
Yeah.
No, but they conceded 15 goals and blitzed the league. Probably what Arsenal are on the verge of doing. Before we wrap up, Phil, probably a good segue into it. Who
Yep.
is winning the league this season, my friend? Are we looking at is it their time? And you've got £1,000,000 bet. Where are you putting it? Are you putting it on the league leaders Arsenal at the moment, or do you think there's a wobble in there?
Well, they are the bottle job team, aren't they? Who seem to want to mess up all the time. But the points they've got so far, I know it's only a few games in, really, but
Yeah,
the gap. Liverpool don't look capable. The only teams, honestly, City who could possibly do something. They don't really look at the best. So if I was putting money on it, it's got to be Arsenal. I mean, it's the easy guessing at the top of the league. You asked
yeah.
me 3 weeks ago, it might have been Liverpool because they could
No,
seem
no,
to
I know.
not be able to win every single game. Sorry, they couldn't lose a game even though they were terrible. They do look capable. If they get a bit more fluidity and don't bottle the games they got remaining, because they have to go over the line. That's the most
Yeah,
difficult bit, isn't it? Getting over the line for the first time in a long time. That'll be the bit. Squeaky bum time, like Fergie used to
yeah,
say.
yeah.
That could be the bit. But yeah, I
Mm,
think I'd put my money on Arsenal.
yeah. No, I hear you. I think City for me are going to be very good at home, and I think they'll beat a lot of teams. They've got Liverpool
Yeah.
this weekend, and I feel like a draw there. Arsenal, I don't know who Arsenal have got. Might be Sunderland or somebody. Obviously, look, Arsenal should be beating everyone. They've got a very, very strong side, and they don't let goals in. If one or both of them, or one of them by definition, is definitely dropping points, City and Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think from that, if that's a draw and Arsenal can pull 8-9 points away already, you're getting into that breathing room that I think they need, because you bottle things when you're under pressure. If you have a 10-point cushion at Christmas without a real threat of like City of old, who could win 18 in a row, which they're not that side. They're not. City will not be able to. City have got to keep them within range and then punch at the end of the season. Liverpool,
Yeah.
I don't know what to make with Liverpool. So yeah, look, it's their time. And just going back to that, Arsenal have conceded 3 goals so far this season. Manchester United have
Yeah.
conceded 16. And defense
Ridiculous,
wins
that is.
titles. Defense wins
That's true.
titles. No, people don't want to. They don't want to hear it, and they want to call them boring. Let's see, when we're floundering, we've scored 50, we've let in 55 in April, and Arsenal 16 points clear. Let's see who's enjoying things then. Eh?
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Phil, for joining us. Appreciate it, my friend, and
No worries.
we'll definitely have
Good
you
to
back
catch
on.
up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just under the hour as well, so we didn't actually bang on too much. We could easily fill up 2 hours, and I'm sure nobody would sit through all of that. But if you have sat through this, I massively appreciate it. And look, I'm no watch along tomorrow. I can't do it, so I think I might try and do something on Sunday with Liverpool and City, depending on how that goes. But Phil, thank you very much for joining me. I massively appreciate that.
Yeah.
If you like the video, hit a like, subscribe. Massively appreciate you all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.